Hello and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. We're looking at a dromedary. Why are we looking at this ship? We haven't seen this since the first season. That is because I am in my creative world where I test and build all my various ships here out in space. And I've got a couple things to show off before we get back into the survival world and build something new, such as that ship, and also upgrade the jump ship. I have taken the base, copied it into this world. We've got the needlessly spinning reactor core, and I figured people might want it, so I took it, chopped it off of the base, brought it over here, gave it a little bit of a paint job, and made it sort of like its own independent thing. So you could just slap this down somewhere in the world, and it would be functional. It's got these arms to hold the needlessly spinning reactor core in place, and it should be good. So if you want it, you can see inside there where I've got all the different screens, all the different programmable blocks and timers. Some of them aren't used, specifically the timers and such, so that you can do what you need with them, but the basics are there for you to set up your own needlessly spinning reactor core. And all you have to do, open up my workshop, and it's right here. Why is it spinning? Why not? But yeah, I've done a lot of work on bits of my workshop, and I'm going to continue to refine these. For example, like my hydrogen hauler, I'm going to redesign this to be a better drone in the future. And I'll get rid of the old one where the dromedary, I want to clean it up, add some more color to it, add more description and stuff like here. But let's look at another thing I've put together before we get back into the survival world and build some of this stuff. As I took my jump ship and broke it into two. My one jump ship was a little bit too much for like the average ship going around in the regular solar system, like for a normal player, and then we needed an XL jump ship for going to and fro the furthest of the hauling contracts. So that's what I have done. I've taken the jump ship, I have made it smaller for this guy, a total of 10 jump drives, which I'm calling this a jump ship mini because I've just been used to working with jump ships that are that big, but realistically, 10 jump drives? Is that mini? I don't really think so. So, I think what I'll do, again, this is me cleaning up the workshop, I should just make something that is like 5 jump drives, like 3 in the center, then the engine core, then 1 on each arm. Or, I don't know, something. But for now, this is a jump ship mini, as it is perfect for all of your uses inside of the solar system. It has 10 jump drives, 20 batteries, a nuclear reactor, which if I copy this real quick and go and cut my way inside, we can see we have a reactor right here, accessible through the top port, and that you can recharge it while it's out in the field. It's kind of like Back to the Future, where it's like he needs his, like 1 pellet of reactor fuel for each trip, sort of thing. You just grab a stack of uranium and throw it in the jump ship every time you go out for a trip and jump back and forth, and it can recharge itself. Theoretically, you could have solar. You can make a solar jump array, but this is more for the user that more of a power user. They have plenty of resources and they just need to get around. Where this thing is like, this is crazy. 20 jump drives, 60 batteries, enough to recharge the jump drives 3 times so that you could first be fully charged with both the batteries and the jumps, jump the full distance, recharge, jump back, recharge, jump the full distance, recharge, and then jump back, then your batteries would be done. But you could do that, and it's ridiculous with 20 jumps with 20,000 2,000 kilometers per drive with 20 drives equals 40,000 potential range for this thing is ridiculous. And while it won't be able to take a heavy craft 40,000, this ship could easily carry a super heavy battleship or something like that from Earth to any of the other planets. Like, you have 40,000 range. Like, if you need to go the 5,000 or so to Alien, like, really, your ship is going to be that heavy? Like, then your ship is incredible. But, yeah, this thing should be good. So I'm going to take the one I have existing and upgrade it to this. The main thing is that we're changing the blocks right there, as well as adding batteries to the wings. But the main thing I want to show off here is the mobile field base. It is an inspiration, at least in shape, from this lifter. It's the Helix Industry Heavy Lifter done by Raziel that I was in my Discord, and he showed off this blueprint, and I'm like, dude, that looks really cool, and I want it. And I liked the design of it, thought I could use it as a lifter, but then thought about, as I kept sort of redesigning it for my own purposes, I kept adding more and more things to it, and then at one point I was just like, you know, screw it. Why don't I just make it essentially a mobile base? So, this thing is a weird shape, but I like it. And I'm going to give it a whirl in the survival world as a mobile field base drone carrier mothership kind of feel. Let's go down and take a tour of it, and then we'll get into the survival world and actually build it. So each of these arms is absolutely packed with goodies. So let me just copy this real quick and plunk it up there so that I can chop off one of these arms and show you guys what I'm talking about. Get off that stuff, and then cut away from the stuff right below it. And the come on, there you go. If I cut down right through here, I can cut it off. Excellent. We will take away the armor here so we can see the goodies that remain. But in this thing, we have everything you could possibly need to start a base. Starting from the center, we have H2O2 generator, giving you all of your oxygen and hydrogen needs. An oxygen tank, so that you can store that excess oxygen. No hydrogen tank in each arm, but there are hydrogen tanks right into the main body of the ship there. But I mean, if this arm was separated for any reason, the H2O2 would be able to create hydrogen on demand. You also have hydrogen engine for power generation, if required, emergency power generation. You've got the basic refinery for basic material processing, basic assembler, landing gear if you need to connect it to the ground, a ore detector, cargo container, as well as a drill and fill, nicely situated, pointing downwards, ready to collect any materials that the base lands on top of. Radio antenna right here, so that you are capable of communicating with any drones that you're sending out. And then right here and here we have buried inside of it nanobot build and repairs that would be capable of building and repairing absolutely everything really quickly. And there's a lot of them. There's 2 there, and it's mirrored over there, and right there. So we have a total of 8 of those. So that means anything that is nearby to this thing just gets repaired or reclaimed super quickly. Coming along from that, if I continue to take off the roof here, of course we can see that there is a Gatling turret, so that it is capable of defending itself, although just slightly. It's not the strongest of things. It is meant to be at a location and then maybe send up a few defensive drones to protect itself. But we've got a large hydrogen tank, 2 on each side, and that is mirrored over there. You can see the yellow right at the tip of my laser, my welder there. Large cargo container for mass storage of various items. Small cargo containers just scattered around for ease of access of stuff. And then everything you need to be happy. We got a build and repair programmable block to allow it to automatically queue up what it needs from the various basic assemblers that are on the ship. Survival kit to just, be a survival kit. Respawn point, and also a point to get all your oxygen and health back. Then over on this side, a couple gyros. There are also gyros in each arm, but that's just a couple extra ones, because why not have extra gyros? A gravity generator, so even like in here in space, we have some gravity to work with. What else we got? All these landing pods, these engine pods, they've got a lot of the forward and backwards thrust in them, are also serve double purpose as landing pads, which have nice walkways. Come down along the outside, and on the outside of each way we have a large connector where we could connect up large ships, such as, say, a prospector size or something along those lines. And then down these ramps right here, we can access the ground from when we're landed through these stairs. And on the other side, if I head on down there, we can access the cockpit, which then gives us view of the ground as we're trying to land the ship, which could be useful for trying to land on uneven terrain. If we come back up and hop in through here, we actually have one of those connectors on the inside, with the idea being that we could have a little base tower, a mining rig, or something along those lines that would be small enough that it would fit inside of this square. And I would essentially fly this ship down and fly around that thing, with it coming through the center and then aligning up and connecting to it. And I think that would be very useful, because then this could essentially surround a building that I'm making on the planet, some mining rig or processing facility, or even it could just be a spot where I've got a tube out to it and then it jumps up and comes over, and that's how I connect to it. Or I could, if I just wanted to connect to an exterior base, I could just connect through this connector here. Yeah, it's got options, and I kind of like it, and so I'm going to be using it in the playthrough. And as such, let's get right to building it, because why the hell not? We can just exit out of there, and thanks to my wonderful SSD, we can immediately start loading into the survival world to get it building. And now, the first thing I want to do is we need to get the jump ship building with its changes and its upgrades. So we're going to have to do that real quick. Once that's done, we can print this thing onto a projector and get it set up to start projecting, which will be wonderful. So, what do I have in my inventory? I have a few bits and pieces, which is just enough for me to do my things. So we're going to pop on down here. We are going to use this projector to project the new ship, and we're going to build a new projector here. So we first just pop into the seat, get some more power from my person, and turn off all the build and repairs, because at the current moment I do not want them to do anything, because this ship is still docked and it's still not good in the place where I want it to be. So yeah. Also, battery jump. I want you guys to not be on recharge. I want you to be on auto. Thank you. Projector, we will grab you and slap you down. And of course, for the projector, we've got its different things here. You can see that's got 2, that's got 4. If I'm not mistaken, it's either the 2 or the 4 is forward, and the 2 or the 4 is up. I can't remember which, but one of these is up, the one with the 4 bars, or the 2 bars, but the rest of them have none. So you want the 4, let's go 2 forward, 4 up. Let's see if that's the correct orientation of this. And we'll get the build and repairs on for just a hot moment here, just to get that, just the 2 ship printer ones. Just get this projector built. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see which way it is as I align the blueprint. So, that projector will be the one that is on this grid. And I'll just call it projector temp, because I do not need it after I'm done this. And we'll go for XL jump ship. Either one, whether it be this workshop one or my local one, will be fine. And I can see that it's actually really close. I just need to bring it, what is this, back to down 1. Right? And so it looks like I've got this properly oriented where the 2 is forward and the 4 bars are up. So, if I jump into this thing, let's go to that projector, go forward, -2, vertical, -1. Is that correct? Ooh, oh no, it's actually gone up. So, -2 is correct, right? I want +2, whatever I set to -2. Right? Or is that... Oh, no. Okay, the -2 is right. It's that 1. Oh, me and my silliness. Getting this all wrong. Ah, there we go. And now, it is aligned. All of the parts that were already good have aligned properly and will work out. So now, I need to go into here, grab my paint from my build and repairs, and paint away the armor that I want them... Oh, not that. That I want them to get rid of. I'll have to fix up the armor colors later and such. Here we go. Paint these guys, and actually, all of this armor here is armor that will be replaced by batteries soon. So I need to paint all that as well. I need to go and check, because previously, like for example, I need to go into here. We can see that there is a battery that wants to be built here. So I need to get rid of that. Come into side here, make sure I clear out all of this, because nuclear reactor is going to be placed in that location. Oh god. Hard to see. Okay, that battery is good there. This armor block needs to go as well. That battery will get repaired. That should all still be connected through there, so that is fine. And can I get back in there? Is there going to be a battery in front there? No, it doesn't look like it. So all I need to check in here is that there's going to be continuing on batteries in this section. Need to make sure I clean all this out. But then this is a battery, so I don't need to do that because it is already a battery. Awesome. And then that's already a battery. Excellent. So then that should be that for the manual drilling at least. And then the rest of it, I just need to paint up and then turn on the build and repairs. And then let them do their thing. Oh god, do not paint the goddamn jump ships, the jump drives. I do not want to have to rebuild those jump drives. That is wrong. That is very wrong. I need to grab a pure white here. And there we go. Now with all that painted, we can pop back on to all the building repairs. And throw them all back on. And this thing... Oh, instantaneous. Grinding the ones, the two from there, and the one from there should all start going absolutely hog wild, building up this ship again, and adding on all this stuff. Oh, the only thing I have to do next after this, unfortunately I'm going to lose a bit of it, but I need to cut my way off and cut this engine pod off. And I'm going to lose some ion thruster components out of this, but there's nothing I can do about that. It's just, that's what's going to happen. So after I get this removed, and I'm certain that it's not connected at all there, I can actually check to see. I don't see the base at all, anything from the base here, so I'm not connected anymore. I can go and paint that whole grid, and that whole grid will get removed and get processed down, all of its little bits, all these bits of scrap. Just get rid of all the scrap here, and that'll all get processed by our yield refineries. Alright. Now all I have to do is just leave this as it is, and this will get processed. Excellent. Although one thing that is going to piss the absolute hell out of me is these batteries will be centered for their power thing, and these batteries will be top for their power thing, and that's going to drive me nuts, and probably have to make me replace all the batteries at some point, just because I am just the sort of feeling to it. It would be horrible. Alright, so real quick, to get this other blueprint in place, I just want to disable those build and repairs so that they don't start building this until I'm ready. But the ship printer, projector, custom data, turn it on, blueprints, and we'll grab the mobile field base. Now it's going to put it in essentially right on top of me, which is not what we want. So we're going to figure it out. Which button here? 4. There we go. Up we go. And then 5. Move it away from the asteroid. And then move it so that one of those is directly over top of me. Just like so. That should be about right. And a couple more up to get it out of the way of the jump ship here. 15? Is that good enough? Yes, that clears the jump ship. Alright. So now I can turn everything back on and let the build and repairs do their thing. Because what I need to do is put on down some blocks here, which will get built unfortunately, but whatever. It's the best we can do. Up to this thing, and then right to it to get a piece of it started. And now that it's started, we can go around and get little bits of it going as each of the buildable pieces becomes available as I add on more and more of the armor around it. And I can at least get sort of like a spine for it in position ahead of time, so that the whole build and repair systems have a little bit of easier time getting to it. More things for them to work on and request from the refineries and assemblers of the base. Oh, absolutely beautiful. And this, out of steel plate, this is going to take a while. This is going to take a fair while for that to get all built up. That's for sure. Let's see. So, production should be screaming for battery components right now, which is what they are doing. Kopesh production, my personal stuff. The base, yeah, it's all building battery bits. Because that is what they're focusing on now. My personal assembler. Let's preemptively, because I know you're going to need a whole bunch, let's preemptively order like 50,000 steel plates, because you're gonna need them. Like, we're gonna make this giant ship here. You're gonna need a few steel plates to do this. Yeah, you are. But yeah. So, the idea for this ship is once we get each one of these docking areas all set up, I want to use Pam's script. And I've never used Pam's before. So, if I go into the workshop here, and Pam should come up if I go most popular. Right? Oh, come on. This is silly. You gotta go like items and most popular, all time, Pam, and freaking resets to 1 week. It's so annoying. There we go. Pam. Path Auto Miner, where it is capable of doing complex pathing, and you can set at certain depths, and it can come back and drop off your stuff and do all this. I've never used this. It looks amazing, but I've never done it. So, I want to do that. Shuttle mode, fully automated transport, station mode. Pam can only connect to stationary connectors. Moving connectors are not supported. Boo, that'd be awesome. But because this essentially is going to be a base that will fly to one location and then sit at that location for a significant duration, most likely, I will have probably 2 Pam's mining ships that will go off and do stuff. I'm contemplating building a new transport shuttle that will land at one of these points that will then go from the mobile field base down there on Earth and bring it back to the asteroid here with whatever goodies it has collected. Alternatively, just shut off the Pam stuff, fly back with the whole thing, unload, fly to the next location sort of thing. As well as using his, or just regular waypointing to make a defensive drone, or drones, multiple, and have this thing have like a, basically hive mind drone control sort of feeling. And why do we have a piece of armor out in the middle of nowhere? I do not know. But now it is gone. That's the plan. And I'm going to let this build. In the meantime... Okay, so... somebody in my Discord linked me some chat of people. I can't remember where they were chatting, but if they see this, they might know who they are. But they were chatting around, being like, "Who's that YouTuber again that does the playthroughs?" But what's his name? The guy who builds in all gray. And they're like, "Oh right, Kanajashi," and I'm like, "God damn it! Am I really that bad? Am I that bad for building in all gray?" So for this, I've tried to make it sort of like camo spec colored, blend in with the surroundings. The other idea was to make it like a industrial orange style design, kind of like what the Prospector is, with its sort of more industrial yellow and bits of gray and white sort of thing. So I might have done a little test here to get your guys' opinion on something. I can add color to my designs. Look, ships with colored landing bays. Doesn't the jump jack just feel like this is its home? You know what I mean? Like, you got the accents on the walls and the floor, the same color as the jump jack. Like, this is the jump jack's docking port, right? I got no ship for this. This will probably be like a cargo ship. My rebuild of the my hydrogen cargo container thing. We've got my fighter in the control room in all black and sleek. The build and repair nanobot, is it a drill and fill mod space miner in its light turquoise blue. And then this one was the yellow, but I didn't like the yellow because I'm using yellow for my cargo containers and green for my my air vents, orange for the railings. So I thought I can make this into like a Canadian mining ship. So it's bright white and red, and I think it looks cool. But I can add color to my designs. God, that's just because I'm not that good at it, or at least I don't think. Probably my, oh god, I'm gonna show off the interior. People will think it's like gaudy as hell or something weird. I got wood floors. Yes, I like the nice hardwood. It's eggshell white on the walls with a nice charcoal darkness to the ceiling to just give it this depth. I don't know. I'm talking bullshit out of my ass here. Like, if you want me to not build in all gray, I need to know what some good color combos. I think this looks okay. And hey, Kanajashi symbol. There's directions to the battery bank, refinery, storage, and assembler control. Oh, cool. Oh, battery bank, server room, and an unpainted block there, and unpainted stuff because I haven't gotten down there yet. But yes, directions, color. I can interior design. I'm not absolutely horrible at it. But yeah. Maybe my designs won't be horrible in the future. I've still got a whole bunch of painting in the base to do. It is nowhere near done. It's half the reason why I haven't made a video in a while, because I've been getting the rooms painted. I'd contemplated whether or not what I should do. Oh god, there's another little piece of armor. Come on. I think they've all just fallen off of this thing as I ground away the engine compartment. I contemplated going through and painting the entire base and like doing a full-on design and then never reacting to it on video and just ignoring it And then everyone in the comments would just be like, whoa, what happened to your base? Why aren't you saying anything about your base? And then just going like that. But whatever. Yeah, I like the look of nice wood floors. It feels homey. And why is there a wood wall? Dear God. I need my eggshell white. And there we go. I think it looks fine. But yeah. There's work to be done. Next episode, we are going to take this mobile field base and we are going to head on down to Earth. Oh, it's over there. We're going to take it to Earth. We're going to go to the mid-latitudes. If I plot myself here, grab my spectator camera. And I'm thinking we want mid-latitudes green area with a nice lake. So my asteroid is right here. A fairly direct line of sight, so I could possibly use a laser antenna, would be this area here. I think the only candidates, we got that sort of dual lake there, and we've got this big lake here. Oh, cool, we got a little island on the big lake. Oh, we should totally make like a lighthouse here for no good reason, just because we can. Okay, yeah, we're going to this big lake. So we got that big lake there. It's got a nice hill we can build into if we wanted to. It's got this big bluff that we can put a great big anti-air defense cannon on if we need to. Yeah, this will be good. We'll land the thing right in this little valley. We'll send out some drones to gather ice. And then we'll fly on back with all of the goodies back to the asteroid base, wherever it may be. That isn't it. It's one of these asteroids. And, oh, there it is. I got my little solar panel sticking out, and that's how I can tell that it's there. But yeah, that is the next major thing. Take the mobile field base down to Earth, as I actually haven't made a Space Engineers video that is me being on Earth in a long time. It's just been on the moon or this asteroid for so long. Cause after I got up to the moon and started building Zion, I didn't leave the moon for the entirety of last season, except for going to Mars a couple times and going to Alien a couple times. I pretty much never went back to Earth. So yeah, I'm excited, but that is going to be the next several episodes. Heading to Earth, taking the mobile field base with us, building several drones, doing PAM scripting, do a bunch of drone work, setting up some laser antennas and outposts on Earth, and then coming back with all my spoils. That'll be in the next episodes. For now, thanks for watching. And good hunting out there, fellow space engineers.